They didn't see this happen.
Yeah,
there was a car
was totally
on the left
side.
side.
What was going on?
They didn't see it happen. They had the seats down, and I think they were making out.
Yeah.
And we were absolutely stunned. I felt absolutely awestruck as this light that we had been watching came straight toward us. In just an instant, it crossed that long valley, and Jeff became actually frightened
because we're sitting in a pickup truck, and I'm looking right over it, right up like this, and it stopped and hovered practically right over us, and then it turned on a light from the edge of the craft, and when it came over us and stopped and hovered, the light seemed to be on the top of it, and it revealed like a silhouette of a disc, and you could clearly say it was a disc-shaped craft, and it made no noise whatsoever, just hovering above us, probably maybe under 100 feet in altitude above us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it stayed there and hovered for a few seconds more, and that's when I was starting to get worried, that something else is going to happen now that they've checked us out. Maybe they're going to land, or I didn't know what was going to go on, so I got pretty scared at that point. And right about the same time I got scared, the thing just zoomed back over the mountains, and you're talking about like, what was it, 10 miles, and within a split second it was over this mountain range, and then stopped, and then just lowered itself on the other side of the range, out of sight.
Also on the footage, you will see the camera is pointed up into the sky at about a 30-degree angle towards Las Vegas, just to the left of the base. The camera was then turned on and basically left unattended for about 45 minutes or so when I was off talking to someone, and you'll see three ships. One actually comes in from the right and makes a quick sort of looping horseshoe motion. Another one will then come in from the upper right-hand corner of the screen, which then comes in, and you can tell that the ship itself is having some sort of unusual electromagnetic effect because the videotape begins to blur and buzz as the electromagnetics of the flying saucer actually begin to blur the iron pyrite on the videotape. That this object then comes in a loop, does a step motion, and then shoots off to the right, traveling from 0 to about 40,000 miles an hour. And a third object that then simply comes in from out of hyperspace, where the object comes in literally from out of nowhere in a small circle, which you'll see if you slow the film down, solidifies into a disc-shaped object, does another step motion, and then goes from 0 to 40,000 miles an hour out of the frame. The last thing you'll see on the tape is an actual close-up taken from about 6 miles away with a 12 zoom lens with about 3 lux on the camera, a close-up of the ship. What you'll see is that the ship itself looks like a bat wing almost. It looks like sort of like the bat plane, because the camera, when it's on infinity, looking or zooming in on an object that's that far away, takes those bites out of the object. But what in fact is happening is that you'll see that at a distance the object will pulse, and that at the camera, as the camera then moves in, you will see what looks like clouds in front of the object, but that in fact is the energy field, or the gravity field quite literally, of the object spinning around the object, and you'll see it looking as though it's clouds moving in front of the object. Then you'll see the object move up to the right, drop down out of the frame, and then reappear in the lower left-hand section. Directly after this occurred, I gave the camera to a girl that was at the mailbox. I jumped in my car and chased after this object. Very soon, about 3 miles out into the desert, a couple of military vehicles came from out of the desert with their lights off, a black Bronco and a flatbed olive drab truck, a 4x4 cab truck. They pulled out and met another vehicle in front of the road. All three of these vehicles then turned around, and the light bars, they lit up the entire area. And in essence, when I got out of my car, they pointed guns at me, and they told me to get back in my vehicle and go back to the road, or I would be shot, in essence. So I got back in my car and went back and turned around, because apparently they'd probably had some kind of problems with this particular craft, and it had probably landed on the civilian side of the middle of the Tikaboo Valley.
We have to understand one fact, that Area 51 has 3 tiers of security system. The outer perimeter security, the inner security, and also the regular military security, plus automated security system. We're talking about outer perimeter security. Area 51 is using semi-private security firms such as Wackenhut Corporation. We call them Wackenhut SS because basically it's the way they operate. Wackenhut SS, of course, means Wackenhut Special Securities Corporation, of course, and they are assigned to guard the outer perimeters of Area 51. And they, because of the status of being a semi-private status, they don't wear any insignias of any kind. They wear military camouflage uniforms and carry machine guns and so on. They ride unmarked four-wheel blazer type vehicles, and they harass citizens who even dare to drive on any of these dirt roads south of the Highway 375. We have every right to be driving on these public lands as long as we don't cross the warning sign area. We were harassed by dangerously maneuvering helicopter over public land on May 16, 1991. A group of us, altogether 18 of us, were in a 7-car caravan just coming back on Groom Road after taking pictures of the warning sign area. We were coming back to Highway 375. But suddenly, we heard a thunderous sound overhead, as if a railroad was passing over our cars. When we looked up, there was this military helicopter that appeared and came about 5 to 8 feet above our cars on purpose, harassing us, intimidating us, and for the next 15 to 16 minutes, we were trying to get away from this helicopter. We were frantically trying to drive and go away from this area, and we were buzzed by this helicopter continuously for 15 minutes. In one occasion, this helicopter circled around as we were driving and came front of our cars at almost low level and just scared us and continued this illegal maneuvering, endangering our lives.
Where is it? Where is it? There it is.
Jeez. How can you see anything with it?
It went behind the mountain. There it is. There it is.
Okay. Test flying over there.
I see one.
Huh?
I see one.
Yeah. It's test flying. It's going to continue for the next stop.
There it is.
Yeah, it's flying over there.
Yeah, it's moving back and forth.
Let's take a look at here. Yeah, take a look at it. It said light. See, what I see is dark off.
Hovering over there.
I had to put the gain on just to see it. Boy, my battery.
Yeah, right. Right.
Fortunately, this isn't doing me any good.
Yeah. I think so.
Who's that, Gary? Tell him to shut up.